Dankmar Adler, engineer, innovator, founder of American architecture. Born in 1844, his life and times were marked by the Civil War and the Great Chicago Fire. He lived and thrived in an era marked by booming industrialization and the birth of the modern city. At the very forefront of this progress was his genius. Adler established one of the most important and influential partnerships in the history of architecture when, in 1880, he hired a young man named Louis Sullivan. They became an extraordinary team. Adler, the structural engineer and helmsman, Sullivan, the artist. In 1889, they unveiled their first masterpiece. It was called the Eighth Wonder of the World. It was the Auditorium Theater. The auditorium's flawless acoustics, astonishing sightlines, and other innovations pushed the limits of modern technology, making it the most significant building of its age. Its mammoth scale and breathtaking beauty demonstrated that Chicago had overcome its tragic fire. It marked the beginning of a new, brilliant chapter in the city's history, and it elevated Adler and Sullivan to the international stage. The Auditorium Theater flourished for many decades. It was the first home of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. It presented speeches from, well, everybody, Booker T. Washington to Teddy Roosevelt. It hosted great artists from all over the world: Sarah Bernhardt, the Ziegfeld Follies, the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. But within 100 years came hard times, and the auditorium lay empty, in grave and sad disrepair. The Records Ball loomed. To its rescue came Mrs. Beatrice Spackner. She formed and drove a group of citizens to return the theater to its status as the crown jewel of American architecture and a place for exhilarating cultural experiences. In 1983, she enlisted Dankmar Adler's great-grandson to join the Auditorium Theater Council. His name, Edward S. Weil, Jr.
I can't think of anybody more proper to receive the inaugural Adler and Sullivan Award than Ed Weil. His commitment to the auditorium and his devotion to it is primary, but also his willingness to work with a diverse group of people, all of whom have a common interest in the auditorium. He's right there making the best of all of it for all of us. He's just a fabulous collaborative director.
I'm always delighted when he offers something at the table, and he's always right on. He doesn't miss the mark. He's may sit quietly for 10 minutes, but then when he speaks, he's always got a great positive message and one that we can learn from.
Ed came to visit one of our auxiliary board, at the time junior board meetings, and it was fascinating to me, the man who's great-grandson of Adler, and then played such a critical and important role in the survival and now flourishing of the theater, which means so much to me personally, that he would come and spend his time with us, just the juniors, who are interested in the building.
The building itself is beautiful. The acoustics are one of the finest in the world. And I think people appreciate that, and I think people appreciate the fact that so many people work so hard to ensure that the auditorium was still here 125 years later.
Surviving all of these years and staying as beautiful as it is and performing in the way that it does, this is sort of the apex of architecture.
Yeah. Scary to think we might have lost it.
We're in a great spot. I'm very happy with it and proud of my many years of service, and look forward to a few more in every way.
Consider this, then. Dankmar Adler was there for the birth of the building. Ed Weil was here for its majestic rebirth.
It's a gift to be able to connect with him directly, just because of the heritage and, given the fact, yes, there's lineage. He's born to, an interesting line of people, but then also the fact that he's come around and plugged back in and taken such an active role, if not the most active role, in keeping sort of the original spirit of this place alive. It's remarkable.
Theater was on the head hard. He worked hard with the whole heart and soul. I don't see anybody work hard like Ed Weil.
Without Ed, things would not even go here. He has psychological power, and he can convince anybody to do anything.
Thank you, Ed, for being an integral part of the revival of this beloved place, and for allowing so many thousands of us the joy and privilege of being in the audience of your great-grandfather's monumental theater. Congratulations, Ed. You honor the Auditorium Theater once again by accepting its inaugural Adler and Sullivan Award. It is a recognition you so richly deserve.